The end is coming. I am not reborn. There is no system. There is only a white cat and an indestructible RV. Due to an explosion and leak at an experimental base, there have been incidents of animal mutation and injury in many countries. As a result, the injured have a high fever. I searched through forums and dark webs at home and abroad, found some blocked posts. It's all about the infected gnawing on living people. The virus is transmitted through the blood. The hospital was completely out of control. The poster IP is all over the country. Xinming leaned against the railing of the balcony. His gaze went over the green belt in the center of the community, fell on the 17th floor of the building opposite. It's been 7 days in a row. The behavior of the residents of 1702 opposite is becoming more and more bizarre. It was a goddess named Shen Qingning, bearing a white coat like a doctor at a nearby military hospital. But in these 7 days, he seemed to have suddenly changed into a different person. First of all, a steady stream of express delivery, thickened steel plates as large as reinforced security windows, mineral water as small as agarwood, compressed biscuits, canned medicines. There are even gasoline generator fire suits. But these 7 days, he stayed up almost all night, transformed the entire home into an airtight fortress. What shocked Jinming even more was that he only bought a few large freezers. Frozen meat is delivered by cold chain trucks every day. Obviously, 26 years old this year, he is a freelance mechanical engineer. But Shen Qingning's operations are too abnormal. During this time, the news has been broadcasting. There have been incidents of injuries after animal mutation in some areas. Infected people develop high fever and mania, symptoms of increased aggression. The convenience store downstairs has begun to quietly increase prices. There are also animal anomalies. Stray cats and stray dogs have recently become extremely manic. When you see people, you will pick up your teeth. Xinming is not a fool. These scattered pieces fit together, pointed to a possibility that gave him creeps. And Shen Qingning, in the opposite building, apparently, all this has been known for a long time, is frantically preparing for the apocalypse. Xinming's heart beat quickly. He glanced at his home. In addition to a few boxes of instant noodles and a few bottles of mineral water, there is almost no grain in storage. Xinming tried to add his WeChat to the owner group, but his WeChat set to refuse to add it. Finally, Xinming thought away. He has a drone for aerial photography. At 1 a.m. that night, the lights in Shen Qingning's house were still on. Xinming controls the drone. Not flew to the observation port on his balcony. I'm a resident on the 18th floor opposite. I have no ill intentions. Just want to know how long it will be. The drone hovers in front of the observation port. Xinming wiped the remote control. The palms of his hands were full of sweat. A few seconds later, Yin Qingning walked to the balcony. Hold the note in your hand. It was clipped to the landing gear of the drone. Xinming immediately controlled the drone and flew back. Last 48 hours. Believe me, I am the material of the country immediately. Reinforced doors and windows. Water and food are the first priority. Medicines are the secondary. Don't trust anyone. Lock the door and don't open it. 48 hours. He didn't hesitate in the slightest. Act now. He opened all the shopping software. Compress the mineral water that can be ordered into canned biscuits. All the instant noodles were ordered. Fastest intracity delivery was chosen. Then he dug out his toolbox. There is a welding machine and a cutter inside. There are also various tools he usually uses to make models. He is going to be within 48 hours. Transform your home into a fortress of safety as well. The next 2 days, the courier delivered it one by one. He welded the balcony to death with thick steel plates. Only a few observation ports were left. 3 security doors are installed at the entrance door. The second bedroom was converted into a material warehouse by him. It was piled up with water and food and all the medicines he could buy. Yododofa, Gaozi antibiotics. There are even solar charging panels for gasoline generators. He even had a white cat called Tian, cat litter and cat food, canned at ordinary times. It has also been in the country for 2 years. Tian is a stray cat he picked up 3 years ago. Cubby, lazy is lazy, except for eating or sleeping. It was the only living creature in his empty house. Time passed minute by minute. It is getting closer and closer to the 48 hours that Shen Qingning said. Qingning stood in front of the observation gate on the balcony. Shen Qingning was also standing in front of the observation port. Oh, look in his direction. Nay. Qingning nodded at him. No. He also nodded slightly. Can I really trust him? 48 hours of last minute. It was midnight in Xiangshan. The neon lights of the city are still flashing. The traffic was busy. It looks like there is no difference from usual. Qingming sat in the living room. A fire axe was rubbing in his hand. No. Tian curled up in his lap. Oh. Ate purring on the phone screen. Well. Time jumped to zero at this moment. A piercing scream suddenly cut through the night sky of the city. This was followed by more screaming and crying. The sound of cars crashing. Gunfire came from all corners of the city. Qingming rushed to the window. Looked downstairs. A man in the community knocked down a woman, gnawing frantically on her neck. The woman's screams gradually faded. A few seconds later, he opened his eyes. Suddenly, the pupils are cloudy, limbs twisted, and got up. He pounced on the security guard, who was running next to him. Their movements are stiff, but the power is infinite. A strange sound of saliva coming from his throat. Have the ultimate desire for living things. Zombie. It's really coming. Qingming's back was instantly soaked with cold sweat. He looked back at Shen Qingning opposite. Lights at home are still on. He stood in front of the observation port. There was no accident on the face. There was only a cold calm. The end of the day came as scheduled. The collapse of order came faster than expected. Only 3 hours. Jiang Cheng's communication was completely cut off. There is no signal on the phone. The network is completely paralyzed. Only snowflakes are left on the TV. Only emergency broadcasts are still intermittent. All citizens are asked to stay at home. Lock the doors and windows. Don't go outside. Waiting for rescue. All citizens are asked to stay at home. But rescue won't come at all. Qingming stood by the window. Community downstairs has been completely reduced to hell. Zombies roam the community. The number is increasing. They are extremely sensitive to sound. Wherever there is movement, it will rush towards it. The corridor was also full of zombie roars and knocking on doors. Those who are not prepared became the first victims. The sound of crying and begging for mercy is the sound of gnawing and eating. It came into Qingming's ears through the wall. Makes his scalp tingle. He turned off all the lights in the house. Only a small flashlight was left. Shrink in front of the observation port. Don't dare to make any big movement. Tian also seemed to feel the danger. Curled up in his arms, the hair all over his body exploded. A vigilant chirping sound came from the throat. First day of the apocalypse. It passed in endless fear and dead silence. Early the next morning, the sky is just bright. Qingming was awakened by a violent knock on the door. Not hitting his door. Not hitting his door. It was the door that hit 1700 opposite in. Qingming immediately rushed to the balcony. Watched Shen Qingning call for help from the balcony. A dozen men with steel pipe machetes right in front of the door of 1702, frantically slashing the security door with an axe. The man at the head had a long scar on his face. The eyes are fierce. He scolded and coughed. It is a thug in the community. After the collapse of order, laws and rules are completely invalid. The evil of human nature breeds wildly on the ruins. These thugs took advantage of the chaos to roam around the community. Loot the survivors' supplies. Kill the unarmed. Now they are eyeing the most heavily defended Shen Qingning's home with the most abundant materials. The people inside listened. Hurry up and open the door and hand over the supplies. Otherwise, I'll split the door and drag you out to feed you. Zombie. Scarface held an axe, slashing the security door. It made a loud and piercing noise. The security door has been split into deep dents. Seems that it can't hold on. Qingming's heart instantly raised his throat. Oh man, he yelled. At this moment, he suddenly remembered that his drone was Shen Qingning. He sent him a note with a drone. Qingming immediately flew back with the drone. Below the note, the handwriting on it has a hint of urgency. They have guns. Door couldn't hold up. Help me use a drone to ride the ropeway. Material transfer to mud. Trust me. Qingming did not hesitate at all. He knows it well. Once Qingming was broken through by this group of thugs, the end of the game will only be miserable, and the lips will be cold, and the teeth will be cold. This group of thugs robbed Qingning's supplies. Next target is him. This also reinforces the doors and windows. At a glance, there are residents with supplies. He immediately replied with a note. Can you the cure one end of the steel snake? I pulled it over with a drone. He is piloting a drone. Flew to Qingning's balcony again. Observer front of the mouth. Qingning put a high-strength nylon steel cable fixed to the landing gear of the drone. The other end of the cable, it was firmly fixed to the steel bar on his balcony. Jiamin took a deep breath, controlling a drone, pulling the steel cable and flying towards the balcony of his house. A distance of several tens of meters. The drone wobble. Downstairs is densely packed with zombies. Once the steel cable falls, it's all over. His palms were full of sweat. His eyes stared at the screen. Fingers steadily control the remote control. Finally, the drone successfully flew to his balcony. With the fastest speed, hold the cable. It is firmly fixed to the steel bar of his balcony. It was made into an aerial ropeway that spanned 2 buildings. The ropeway was built opposite Qingning gestured to him with an okay gesture. He first put a few heavy supplies. The backpack is attached to pulleys. Slide along the ropeway to Qingming's balcony. Qingming caught the backpack. Heavy. It was full of compressed biscuit medicine. There was also a pistol and a few boxes of ammunition. Then, it was also hung on the pulley. Slide along the ropeway towards this side. Just as he slid to the center of the ropeway, an accident happened. Scarface led people to knock open the door of Qingning's house. Rushed in. When they saw the balcony rope, there is also Qingning, who is sliding in mid-air. Scarface's eyes turned red instantly. Raise a shotgun in your hand. He fired a shot at Qingning. Gunshot rang out. The bullet grazed Qingning's shoulder and flew over. Hit. A piece of cement debris splashed on the wall. The ropeway shook violently. Qingning's whole person hung in mid-air. Below is more than a dozen floors in the sky. There are also dense zombies downstairs. Once dropped, there is no doubt that he will die. Qingming's heart was about to jump out. He immediately lay down on the balcony. Stretched out his hand toward Qingning, shouted. Qingning gritted his teeth. Grab the steel cable with your hands. He used all his strength to quickly row towards this side. Scarface's second shot hit again. Hit the steel cable. Makes a screeching metal collision sound. Just a second before the bullet hit the steel cable, Qingning finally slid to the balcony. Qingming grabbed his arm and pulled him into the house. Hard, the two fell heavily to the floor. Almost at the same time, there was a dense roar of zombies outside. The gunfire just now attracted zombies in the entire community. All rushed towards the 17 buildings opposite. The scolding and screaming of the group of people in Scarface soon overwhelmed by the roar of zombies. The steel plate of the balcony was closed during the Qingming festival. Lock all the locks. Finally breathed a sigh of relief. Slumped on the ground, knee punching heavily. He looked at Qingning beside him. His shoulder was grazed by a bullet. A hole was cut. Blood oozed out. Thus, on the face. But there was no panic at all. Just calmly take out iodine and gauze from your backpack. Treat yourself to the wound. Thank you. My name is Qingning, formerly an emergency physician at a city hospital. Mechanical engineer. Or, you already knew this would happen, right? Shen Yingning's movements paused. There was silence for a few seconds. Nodded. I guess I've seen it once. He didn't say much. Shen Ying didn't ask much. Under the apocalypse, everyone has their own secrets. The two simply divided the work. Shen Ying is responsible for the defense of the house, repair, and maintenance of equipment. And Shen Qingning is responsible for the planning and management of medical supplies. They are in this house. I spent half a month peacefully. Half a month. There are more and more zombies in the community. The mob is also getting crazier. Water and electricity were completely cut off, only powered by generators. The city has completely become a dead city. There was only endless roar of zombies, day and night. They are clear. We've been here all the time. It is not a long-term solution. There is always a day when food and water run out. Once targeted by a large-scale corpse tide or mob, sooner or later, this house will be breached. They have to get out of here. Go somewhere safer. Oh, my colleague in the hospital said. Sports center. In the east of the city, there is an army stationed there. There are ample supplies and fortifications, and is currently the safest place in Jiangcheng. Shen Qingning pointed to the map and said to Qin, we have to go there. Qinming looked at the map and nodded. The east of Jiangcheng is more than 30 kilometers away from them. The road is full of ruins and zombies. It's never easy to want to pass, but they had no other choice. It took the 2-3 days. A detailed escape plan was drawn up. Qinming put a pickup truck downstairs. It has been transformed into an anti-zombie armored vehicle. Steel plates are welded. Horse tires filled with gasoline. All supplies and weapons were brought, and sweet, the day of departure. The sky is just bright. Binming and Shen Qingning carried their backpacks. Oh, I got into a modified pickup truck. Tian was placed in the Tio pilot's cat bag. Shrink obediently. No. Screaming. Jiamain started the car. The roar of the engine was in the silent community. It was particularly harsh. Countless zombies instantly surrounded the car. Qingming gritted his teeth. Slam on the accelerator. The pickup truck is like a steel behemoth. Knocked away. The surrounding zombies rushed out of the gate of the community. A drive into a city street full of ruins. The road to escape officially began. Yansheng has completely turned into a city of ruins. The streets are full of overturned cars, scattered construction waste. Zombies roam the streets. They are extremely sensitive to the sound of the car's engine. As soon as he heard the movement, he rushed towards the pickup truck like crazy. Qinming held the steering wheel tightly. Eyes are staring straight ahead. Keep hitting the steering wheel. Avoid obstacles and zombies. On your way. Shen Qingning sat in the Tio pilot, a shotgun in his hand. Look around vigilantly. Once a zombie picks up the car, it will open immediately. 3 on the left. Pounced. Roger that. Qinming slapped the steering wheel. The body shook hard. Throw out the zombie on the car door. Shen Qingning immediately pulled the trigger. The sunset shotgun blasted, hitting the zombies that pounced on the front of the car. In the cat bag, frightened by the gunfire, he shrank into a ball, but he still didn't scream. Just look at everything outside with round eyes. The road out of the city was more difficult than they imagined. The bridge along the way was blown off. They can only take a detour through the alleys of the old town. The alleys are densely packed with zombies. The head is almost invisible. What's even more terrifying, they encountered mutated wild dogs, twice the size of the average dog. Neighing extremely fast. The teeth are sharp enough to bite through steel plates. I almost bit the tire several times. These animals also mutated. These animals mutate even more. Viruses can not only infect people, and animals mutate faster than humans. Qinming's heart also sank. Zombies are scary enough. Plus these mutated animals, their escape path will only become more dangerous. When the car drove to an intersection in the city center, the accident still happened. A large truck that overturned completely blocked the entire road. Zombies kept jumping down from the surrounding high-rise buildings. There was a dense tide of corpses in all directions. I can't see the end at a glance. There are thousands of them. Qin Ming slammed on the brakes. The pickup truck stopped in the middle of the intersection. They were all zombies surrounding the front, back, left, and right. They hit the steel plates frantically, made a loud noise. Get off the bus and enter the mall next to it. It seems that it can't hold on. Qingming is fast. The car couldn't hold on. Shen Qingming made a decisive decision on the spot. Grab your backpack and gun. Obviously, immediately unfastened the seatbelt. A cat bag that picked up the CO pilot. Grab the Hauptente. Then Shen Qingming jumped out of the car. The two leaned against each other, wielding weapons. Split. The zombies that pounced on you rushed towards the door of the shopping mall. Next to IT, there are too many zombies. You can't kill it all. They rushed over one after another. The fishy smell came to my face. I got clean and Janeth was cut open by the zombie's claws. Blood flowed out instantly. He was in pain and broke out in a cold sweat on his forehead. Qingming shouted, "Yo!" A shot smashed the zombies that rushed behind him, but more zombies have already surrounded it, forced them to the corner of the mall. There is no way to retreat. The zombie closest to them at this critical moment cat back in Jiaming's arms. Suddenly, there was a sharp cat meow. A pale blue light flashed. Then, something incredible happened. Time seems to have pressed the pause button at this moment. The zombies that pounced on him stopped in mid-air. The twisted expression was frozen on his face. The splashed blood beads hung in mid-air. Shen Qingming's action of holding the gun also stopped in place. Even the wind stopped. The whole world fell into absolute stillness, except for Qingming. And the self-cat is sweet. He looked at everything that stood still around him. He looked down at the sweetness in his arms again. He was still blowing his hair. The blue light in his eyes was still flickering slightly. It was Tian who triggered a certain ability. Let time stand still. Qingming's brain was running rapidly. Didn't hesitate in the slightest. He immediately raised the fire axe in his hand. He slashed at the still zombies beside him. An axe split their heads with precision. He uses the fastest speed. Put the dozen zombies around them. Kill them all. Then, he took Shen Qingming's hand. Holding Tian, he rushed into the mall. The door of the mall was closed. He used the shells inside to hold the door tightly. The moment he held the door, the blue light in Tian's eyes disappeared. Time flowed again. The zombies outside were still frantically hitting the gate, but their target has been lost. All the body and head have been separated. Fell to the ground. Shen Qingming looked at everything in front of him. He looked at the sweetness in Qingming's arms again. The eyes widened. The big face was full of disbelief. What happened just now? Time stopped. Qingming nodded. Looking down at the sweetness in his arms, he has returned to his usual lazy appearance. Lick at his paws, as if nothing had happened just now. She awakens her superpowers. It can make time stand still. The stillness just now lasted about 10 seconds. Shen Qingming walked up to Tian. Carefully stretched out his hand and touched his head. His eyes were full of shock. Mutant animals can awaken this ability. I've only heard of mutant animals becoming more ferocious, more power, faster speed. I've never heard of someone who can manipulate time. It also set off a stormy wave. He finally understood. I finally understood. Why are there rumors? A mutant animal with awakened special abilities. It will become the ultimate resource for all forces to compete for. This ability to stand still in time. It is a miracle in the last days. It is a vitality in a desperate situation. It is the ultimate weapon that can determine life and death. With this ability of sweetness, the probability of them surviving in the last days greatly increased. At the same time, Qingming also knew ordinary people are not guilty. YB is guilty. Once Tian's ability is leaked, it will be the target of all forces throughout the end times, attracting endless intrigues and killings. This matter must not be known to the third person. Yiming raised his head to look at Shen Qingning. Sweet ability is our biggest trump card. It is also the greatest danger. Shen Qingning nodded immediately. He knew exactly what this ability meant. Understand and don't worry. I won't tell anyone. The two found a safe warehouse in the mall. Now, cleaned up several zombies inside. Lock the door. Take a break for a while. Shen Ming treated his wound. Shen Qingning gave him antibiotics to prevent infection. They counted the remaining supplies. The next route was planned. Decided to bypass the city center. Take the expressway of the outer ring. To the shelter in the east of the city. Qin Ming kept vigil at night. Tiantian curled up on his lap and slept soundly. Jiamen gently touched its head. I have mixed feelings in my heart. 3 years ago, he was in the rain. Picked up the dying little milk cat. Just want to find a companion for yourself. But I didn't expect it. In the desperate situation of the end times, it was this cat that saved his and Shen Qingning's lives. Looking out the window at the dark city, the roar of zombies came faintly, but there was a little more confidence in my heart. No matter how dangerous the road ahead is, at least he's not alone. Early the next morning, they set off. As soon as dawn broke, relying on Tianqian's ability to stand still in time, they do it again and again. From the siege of corpse tides and mutant animals, fall on one's feet. Qin Ming Azu gradually figured out the law of Tianqian's ability. Each stationary time is about 10-15 seconds. After each use, Tianqian needs at least half an hour of rest to trigger the ability again. 3 days later, they finally rushed out of the main city, arrived at the sports center in the east of the city. From a distance, they saw the periphery of the sports center. High walls. The power grid is pulled on it. There were guards with guns patrolling the door. There were voices and the roar of cars inside. In this dead city of ruins, this is the only place where there is life. Qinming and Shen Qingning looked at each other. They all saw a relieved look in each other's eyes. They finally arrived, but they don't know. This is not a safe haven in the apocalypse, but another carefully arranged, targeting their traps. Inspections at shelters are extremely strict. All people who enter must be disinfected throughout the body. Identity registration. All weapons must be uniformly handed over for safekeeping. Civilians and Shen Qingning cooperated to complete the inspection. Just hid Tiantian in a special backpack. Evaded the search. After entering the shelter, the two of them found out it's bigger than they think. Stadium of the sports center. It was converted into a residential area for survivors. The training ground on the outskirts became a training ground for the guards. The warehouse was full of supplies. There is also a special medical area, canteen maintenance area, orderly. It's not like the chaos and disorder outside. Manage this shelter. It was Xiao Sei, the captain of the Qianjiang City Public Security Detachment. It is said that when the apocalypse broke out, it was Xiao Sei who led the security team, defended the sports center, saved the survivors nearby. Step by step, it has made this place the safest refuge in Jiaocheng. Here, everyone has to follow the rules distributed according to work. Those who can do it, work harder. As long as you are willing to work, you can have a bite to eat. There's a place to live. Qinming and Shen Qingning were soon assigned jobs. Shen Qingning is an emergency physician, rich medical experience. He was directly placed in the medical area, became the head of the medical team, responsible for treating injured survivors. Qinming understands mechanics and electronics. Was placed in the maintenance team, responsible for the fortifications of the shelter, repair and maintenance of generator vehicles. The ability of the two was quickly recognized, gained a firm foothold in the shelter. The days gradually stabilized. But Qinming's uneasiness became heavier and heavier. He always felt that he was in this refuge. Something is wrong. Else of the guards. Look at his eyes, always with an inexplicable scrutiny. There are also the guards, who train in the training ground. The fierceness in his eyes. It doesn't look like a security officer maintaining order at all. More like an outlaw. This uneasiness, when he went to the training ground to deliver first aid medicine, reached its peak. That a team member on the training ground was injured during training. Medical area asked Shen Qingning to deal with it. He just walked to the door of the training ground with a first aid kit. I saw the center of the training ground. The instructor, who was instructing the team members to fight. The man was shirtless. The body is full of scars. A long scar on his face extends from the brow bone to the lower jaw. The eyes are fierce. It was in the community at the beginning, led people to split Shen Qingning's house. The leader of the mob who almost shot him dead, scar-faced Shen Qingning's. Blood froze instantly. The first aid kit in his hand fell to the ground with a bang. There was a screeching sound. Scarface heard the movement. I turned my head and saw someone standing at the door. Shen Qingning's mouth curled up with a sinister smile. Shen Qingning turned around and ran away. Heart was beating wildly and was about to break through the chest. He couldn't figure it out. This murderous thug. How could it be here? He also became an instructor for the sheltered guard. He ran back to the medical area like crazy. I wanted to find Qin Ming to tell him about it, but he just ran to the door of the medical area. Dr. Shen Xiao team is looking for you to come with us. The hands of the two guards pressed on the guns at their waists. The tone is unquestionable. Shen Qingning's heart chuckled. Did you know? He knew he couldn't run away. He was taken to the command room of the shelter. Xiao Sei sat behind his desk and looked at him. Xiao Sei is 30 years old this year. Tao Ni Wei, wearing a black combat uniform. The facial features are tough. The eyes are deep. There is a sense of oppression that has been in the top position for a long time. He looked at Shen Qingning, who was pale. Dr. Shen sat down, just staring at him. Why is Scarface here? He is a thug in the community. He killed people. Supplies were robbed. He almost killed me. Xiao Sei looked at him and suddenly smiled. There was a hint of cold playfulness in his smile. I know he's my guy. Before the end of the day, he was an informant for my security team. After the apocalypse, I was born and died. He is my most powerful subordinate. It's you. Oh no, it was you who asked him to go to the community to grab supplies and kill people. Not really. Xiao Sei stood up and walked in front of him, looked at him condescendingly. Oh, the gentleness in his eyes completely disappeared. It's the end of Dr. Shen. Oh, the weak eat the strong is the rule of this world. Materials, weapons, and manpower is the foundation of survival. Shen Qingning retreated again and again. The back hits the cold wall. There is no way to retreat. He finally understood this so-called official refuge. It was basically Xiao Sei's private kingdom. He is not a savior at all, just a bigger mob in the cloak of legality. You call me over. What do you want to do? Shen Qingning gritted his teeth. Force yourself to calm down. The hand quietly touched the scalpel in his pocket. Very simple. Xiao Sei looked at her, word by word. I want the cat. Next. Do you? That can only make time stand still. Shen Qingning's mind went blank. He knows Tiantian's ability. He actually knows everything. How would you know? Shen Qingning's voice trembled uncontrollably. How would I know? There was a hint of madness and paranoia in the smile, because I have seen the ability of this cat in my previous life. Time stands still. What a perfect ability. There, you have it. Can be the only god in this last days. Shen Qingning's pupils shrank. Double. She turned out to be the same as herself, reborn with the memory of the previous life, back to before the outbreak of the apocalypse. No wonder she was able to break out at the first time of the apocalypse. Keep the sports center built. Build a shelter. Gather your hands. Country accumulates resources. You. How do you know? How would I know? No wonder. He even knows Tianqian's ability to stand still in time. What happened in the previous life? The owner of this cat in the previous life was not Qinming. Is a scavenger. It took me a whole year to catch him. Nation stabs the cat but I didn't expect it. The cat's ability recognizes only his first owner. Others kill their masters, nor can it trigger its abilities at all. I guard this cat, but you can't use it at all. Finally, when the corpse tide besieged the city, didn't a random gunfire, God has eyes, actually made me live again. Back to the beginning of the apocalypse, I looked at Shinmin with the cat escape all the way from the community. Watching him at the crossroads triggers the ability to stop time. Qingning, do you think this is God's will? Now, give you two options. First, help me trick Qinming into the warehouse. Let me catch him. Get this cat. I can guarantee you in the shelter a lifetime of worry, free food and clothing, live peacefully. They can reject me. Wow, I can kill Qinming. Now, throw you at the men on the training ground. Again, let you live worse than death. His hand was pressed to the pistol at his waist. The cold muzzle pressed against Shen Qingning's temple. Choose. Shen Qingning's whole body was shaking. He looked at the fierceness in Xiao Xi's eyes. No. What he can say. If he can do it, he is not afraid of death. He was afraid that something would happen to Qinming. Because of him, his brain was running fast. Xiao Xi only knew that Tiantian had the ability to stand still for time, but he didn't know that this ability, Qinming, could be triggered. He can too. Tiantian recognizes not only the owner and the people he recognizes. Took a deep breath, raised his head to look at Xiao Xi. There was a look of fear and compromise on his face. The voice trembled. I choose the first one. I'll help you. Don't hurt Qinming. Don't hurt me either. Xiao Xi smiled. Put away the gun with satisfaction. Patted him on the face. Those who understand current affairs are considered outstanding talents. Dr. Shane, you are very smart. Tomorrow, at 8 p.m., you tricked Qinming into an abandoned warehouse in the West District. You don't have to worry about the rest. Remember not to play tricks. Otherwise, you and Qinming will both die. Shen Qingning nodded, walked out of the command room in despair, and he returned to the medical area. Qinming was waiting for him. Seeing his pale face, immediately greeted him, frowning and asking, "What's wrong?" Shen Qingning looked at Qinming's worried eyes. My nose was sore, almost shed tears. Closed the door. Everything Xiao Zi told Qinming 1510, including the memory of his previous life, including his ability to want sweetness. Let me lead you to the warehouse. After he finished speaking, he thought Qinming would be shocked. I would be afraid, but Qinming's face was unusually calm. It seems that all this has been known for a long time. I have long felt that this refuge has all the problems. Xiao Xi's layout is perfect. Perfect to the point of not looking like a makeshift shelter. It's more like it's been planned for a long time. And I found that he had been secretly watching us. Especially Sweet. He wanted Sweet ability. Then, let's set up a game for him. The plan is to be calculated. Shen Qingning looked at him. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. You have a plan. Qinming nodded. Leaned close to his ear, whispered his plan. Shen Qingning listened. The eyes are getting brighter and brighter. Finally, he nodded heavily. Okay. Just do as you say. Next day, at 8 p.m., abandoned warehouse in the West End. The warehouse was pitch black. Only a few dim emergency lights were on. The air smells of rust and dust. Xiao Xi took Scarface and a dozen subordinates, ambushed in all corners of the warehouse. All the guns in his hands were loaded. Right, I'll stay. Aimed at the door of the warehouse. The boss and the others are coming. The door of the warehouse was slowly pushed open. Shen Qingning walked in front. Holding a sweet hair bag in his hand. Step by step into the warehouse. I brought people. Shen Qingning stopped. Xiao Xi, you promised me. Can't hurt him. Xiao Xi came out of the darkness. Dr. Shen is indeed trustworthy. Shen lied. Company, give me the cat in your arms sincerely. Contract, for me, here's what I want. I can give you a good time, let you die, a good look. More than a dozen men immediately surrounded them. The muzzle of the black hole was aimed at Qinming and Shen Qingning. Xiao, you didn't figure it out in your last life until you died. What is the hell is Tiantian's ability? You thought you killed me. You can get his powers. Xiao Ci's face darkened. What do you mean? It means that the cat's contract owner is invalid. Tiantian's ability has never only recognized the owner. He recognizes people he recognizes. And you are a beast with blood on your hands. He will never recognize. Even if you kill me, you will never be able to use his abilities. Xiao Ci's face instantly became twisted. I don't believe you lied to me. At the moment he ordered, Shen Qingning suddenly moved the scalpel in his hand, stabbed Qinming hard in the chest. Blood gushed out instantly. Qinming's eyes widened. Looked at him in disbelief, fell heavily to the ground. There is no breath. Everyone was stunned. Xiao Jie was also frozen. Looked at Shen Qingning. The eyes are full of surprise. There was no expression on his face, looking at Xiao Ci and saying coldly, now he is dead. The cat is yours. I just want to live. Don't trouble me. Xiao Ci came back to his senses, immediately rushed towards the cat bag on the ground. Grab the cat bag. Annoy me. I opened it and wanted to take Tiantian out. At this moment, Tiantian suddenly let out a sharp cat meow. Pale blue light instantly filled the entire warehouse. Time stands still again. All the people froze in place. Xiao Ci's hand stopped at the opening of the cat bag. The greed on his face was clearly frozen. Only Qin, Ming, and Shen Qingning could move. Shen Qingning's knife just now. It didn't stab Qin Ming at all. It just stabbed the blood band he had tied to his chest in advance. Everything is acted. Qin Ming got up from the ground with a Shen Qingning. With the fastest speed, unloaded all the guns from everyone in the warehouse. The magazine was removed, thrown outside the warehouse. Then they put Xiao Ci and Scarface. It was firmly tied to the pillar with a rope. 10 seconds are just right. Time flows again. Xiao Ci's hand was empty. He looked down. The gun in his hand was gone. The subordinates around him, all the weapons in his hand were gone. It was firmly tied to the pillar. He raised his head sharply. Look at Shen Ning standing in front of him. It's impossible for time to stand still. Aren't you dead? Do you think I'll be excited? Tell you all the whole cards. Yes. Yes. Moral strategy. The debt you owed in your previous life should be paid off in this life. Xiao Ci's face finally showed a look of fear. You can't kill me. I am the manager of the shelter. If I die, the shelter will be completely messed up. No, all the survivors inside will die. They don't die. Do you think we are not prepared? You're evil men. We have already testified against them. Oh, all were handed over to the shelter. Other upright gods. Now, they should be under control. He never thought of it, calculated everything by himself. Live a lifetime. In the end, it was planted here. Qinming didn't talk nonsense to him anymore. Looked at Xiao Ci, remembered the innocent survivors he killed. I remember the supplies he had robbed. Throw it to ordinary people who feed zombies. Pulled the trigger. Xiao Ci's body shook suddenly, completely out of breath. Scarface looked at this scene. I was so frightened that I was disheartened, crazy, begging for mercy. But Qin Ming did not relent. A single shot ended his life. Qin Ming and Shen Qingning opened the underground warehouse of the warehouse. This is Xiao Ci's private warehouse. It was full of supplies, food, water, medicine, gasoline, weapons. There is even a modified heavy-duty off-road motorhome. It is fully equipped inside. The defense is full. They put the supplies in the warehouse. Most of it was left to the survivors in the shelter. Only enough supplies were taken away for them. And that heavy truck. RV. Early the next morning, the sky is just bright. Qinming Shenxining drove the heavy RV, left the shelter with Tiantian. Noyoi in shelters already knew what Xiao Sei had done. A new manager was elected. Vil continued to guard this place. Qinming and Shenqingning don't belong here. Their journey is much further. The motorhome drives on the ruins of the end times. The morning sun rises over the horizon. The golden sun shone on the sore earth. Shen Jingning sat in the Kyo pilot, looking at the scenery outside the window, looking back at Qin Ming. Where do we go next? A smile curled up at the corner of his mouth. He glanced down at the center console. Oichichi sleeping sweetly. The eyes are full of determination. I don't know. Wherever you go. Anyway, the future is unknown. Life and death are shared. The RV's engine roared smoothly towards the morning sun. Direction of the rise goes all the way. Zombie, cataclysmic, mutant creatures, unknown conspiracies still await them, but they are no longer afraid. No loneliness in this apocalyptic world where humanity is lost. They found each other. I found my own meaning in living and belongs to their apocalyptic journey. It's just getting started.